Hey folks, welcome to another day, another unboxing. And if you've been listening to the podcast, you know I recently bought this iPhone 11 in product red color with 64 gigabytes of storage. Basically a base model iPhone 11. And it's time to unbox it. I mean, honestly, there's not much to say here. This is an iPhone and it does have, the usual goodness. As you can see here, 64 gigabyte. Not much to be said here. iPhone on the side, Apple logo, iPhone on the side, Apple logo. And it's a beautiful shade of this lovely blood red color. You can only get the red in the 11, so that's kind of part of the reason I decided if I'm going to go with the entry-level iPhone, I'm going to get the red one. Now I'm going to use this phone to do videos from my YouTube channel because iPhones are really the best at video. They usually have been the last few years. And I upgraded from an iPhone 10 to this iPhone 11, iPhone X, whatever you want to call it, because it just didn't cut it for me in terms of quality. And I've been using Pixel phones for video and it's also not quite there. So here we go. Da, 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 da. Woo. There's the beginnings of that. Pulling it out. Oh, that feels really hefty because of this, this little cutout for the camera. So here's the iPhone. Beautiful. Beautiful striking color. Here's the front. Let's get to that in a second and look at what else is in the box. Got a design by Apple in California, of course. Nothing else in here. The little product red insert that always says something delicious. You can read it here. And then we've got a little hello pamphlet. Tells you how everything works. Apple's packaging is always delightful. We have a SIM removal tool, and then we have the warranty and all that safety stuff, and of course some beautiful white Apple stickers. In the box is also a 5-watt, that you heard it correctly, 5-watt iPhone charger, the same as it's always been forever now. So that's one thing. And then we have ear pods, basic ear pods. I'm not going to take them out. You know what these look like. They're wired on one end and they have a lightning port on the other end since there's no headphone jack. We also have a lightning cable, just a basic, easy lightning cable right there. So that's basically the gist of it. That's what's in the box and that's all we have really. So let's have a look at the phone, shall we? Look at this color. Look at this thing. Let me remove all the packaging here. We've got a screen protector in the front. That's one thing. And I think in the back we also have something protecting it. Maybe no. Actually, it's interesting. They don't have protection on the back at all. So I'm going to turn it on so we can have a look. As you know, this phone has a 6.1-inch display. It is an IPS panel that has a bit of a notch up here for the Face ID sensor. It is a 828 pixel wide by 1792 pixels high. And a lot of people are upset about that because it's really not even a full HD display, right? So it's going to cycle through its hello theme here. You can see very well the notch. There is a symmetric bezel, which is pretty big, but because it's symmetric and nicely rounded and the angles are really good, it looks really nice. So that's one of the nice things about this phone. I think the proportions on it are really great for a phone with rounded corners. On the left-hand side here is the silence button. You can see here with a great haptic feedback. You have a volume rocker. On the bottom, you have what looks like 2 speakers. But yes, this does have stereo sound, but it's coming from one of these and the earpiece at the top. Lightning connector. And then on the right-hand side, you have the power lock button and the SIM tray. On top, you really have nothing at all. In the back is a dual camera system. Remember, the 11 Pro has a triple system. 2 lenses, 12 megapixels each. One of them is f/1.8 and it's the main lens. It has 1.4 micron pixels, optical image stabilization, dual pixel autofocus. And then we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide, f/2.4. Don't know what the sensor looks like, but both of these are spectacular cameras. They record 4K video at 60 frames per second, stabilized, which is kind of insane. And then there's a 3110 milliamp hour battery in here, 4 gigs of RAM, and you can get different storage options, 64, which is what I have, 128, and of course 256 if you want to spend that kind of money. There's an Apple A13 Bionic chip running the whole show, 7 nanometer, of course 4G LTE, right? Finally, the front camera here is a 12 megapixel as well. It's f/2.2, and it can also record 60 frames per second 4K video, which is really amazing if you want to do a selfie of some kind. Of course, it uses electronic image stabilization. You can see here the sensor trying to read my face. You can only see that on camera because it's actually an infrared sensor firing off an array of light. So that's how that works. Yeah, that's it, folks. There's really not much to this. I just wanted to show you what it's like to unbox an iPhone 11. I know it's a little late to the party since it's been out since September, October, but I finally decided to upgrade my iPhone 10 for video recording to this 11, and here it is. So stay tuned for more content. You know where to find me on the internet. There is the Mobile Tech Podcast, which is the main gig, mobiletechpodcast.com. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Spotify. And then, of course, please, if you subscribe through these services, rate us, review us, and I say us, me and my guests, of course. Please subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to this channel, like this video, tell your friends, click the little notification bell below, and comment in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And that's it, folks. Stay tuned for more videos soon. Until then, cheers, everybody.